Hello, this is National Chess Master RRats at chess.com, continuing my video series on the team match between my video lessons group and the team CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 190. Our man is Tyllie versus KinghtsTour, mid 1600s versus high 1400s rating advantage for us. And, well, Tyllie was lucky here. He should have lost both games. And I'm really surprised at the first result. As a matter of fact, when I set it up, I was just assuming that that he won this game and was playing white. Then I'm saying, wait a minute, do I have this game right? Because when I loaded it up, I said, white won this, and you'll see what I'm saying when we go through it. Why did white get a winning game here? Let's talk about that. Okay, the Berlin defense is pretty much on the grandmaster level, gives black a draw. But we're not there yet. So I think what black tried to do here was play a little too aggressively. Bishop developing a piece, bishop c5, perfectly logical, or even put it on e7 is a nice safe square for it. But this seems to equalize for black nonetheless. But he now pins the knight. And here I think black made a mistake. Black should just play queen a5 or park the queen on d6. Either of those seemed a reasonable move. This knight is still pinned. You don't have to take it. Ideally, you want to wait. It's okay to take this knight, but ideally you want to wait. You never know what white's going to do. Maybe white will stop and play a3. Then you gain a tempo. So black didn't have to take that. And now he puts the queen in a5, but it's a one-move threat. That's something your opponent's going to see, and he does. Okay. Now black continues to play aggressive and goes for a pin on d4. But it's the sting of this. I'm talking about the d4 square ahead of time. Sometimes I name a square ahead of time because I'm already thinking about it. One of the objectives of this pin is that you want to get knight d4 in, but you can't because this pawn's on c3. So both sides castle, and black continues his aggressive play here, as we'll see. e4. Now, he's not entirely immobilized. This is going to work out, theoretically, but why not put a rook behind it first? Okay, get the rook on the open file. You want to complete your development before you undergo operations. And now we can see the reason for black's strategy. He's sacrificing a pawn to double up white's pawns, give white two sets of double pawns. But, oops, I'm going backward instead of going forward. I want to go backward. I don't want to go forward. There was one other possibility black had, was to go ahead and play a rook to e5 and pressure this pawn a little bit. That was another possibility. It activates a piece. These are things you want to think about. But we'll see what black is planning here. And like I said, I think black played a little too aggressively here. And he immediately messes this game up, and white doesn't capitalize. It's just amazing. Okay, the correct move is to play bishop h3, just gain a tempo, and for the pawn sacrificed, white has a busted king position. Okay, doesn't mean black's going to win, doesn't mean white's going to win. What it means is that it's a game of chess to be played. But bishop h3 was the correct move because black's next move is a blunder. He decides he wants to work on an attack. And after this move, I know this was the first game to finish. I don't know why white made the choice he did. It's just perplexing. We're going to try to talk about that and figure it. Now, normally I'd say pause the video and see if you can predict white's next move. And I'm not going to waste your time because white's next move was to resign. And even though he's threatened with mate in 1, there's a defense. There's at least one defense, maybe probably two the more I'm looking at it. I mean, bishop f4 just comes right to mind. That covers h2, and black's a clear piece up. Okay? What else could he try? How about f4 or f3? Let's look at f3. That guards h2, and it attacks this knight. Black needs to do something here. These rooks aren't helping, right? I'm trying to point the rook, and I made an arrow. There you go. So what does black do? Black can't take back on g4 and doesn't have enough pieces in play to continue anything. This knight's going to have to move somewhere. H6, F6, E5, and white's a clear piece ahead with a winning game. Okay? White resigned. Didn't have to be. So white resigned in a winning position. And not much else I can say. Let's switch to the other game. As I was saying, KinghtsTour should have won both games, but he lost them both, and we'll try to find out what went wrong. Okay, let's start at move 15. Rarely starts at move 1. Okay. Now, just a side note, there's a system black can use here, or white can use rather. On bishop h4, some players will play g5. I got your bishop trap. Well, white has a little swish and zug, and I used to play this in blitz. This pawn's a target. The white pawn structure is a little busted. It's anybody's game. Usually black plays c5 and brings the queen out and tries to put the bishop here. But it's an interesting line. I've talked about it briefly on video lesson 5 in my discussion of openings. It's on my playlist. Dig it up. Okay, but I think white found an interesting move. He developed a piece. That's one thing I talk about. If you're not sure what to do, develop a piece. So he did. And black decides to collect the bishop pair. And now both sides develop. And the knight was under attack, so he brought it back. Now c6 is a little perplexing. You're taking away the best square from your knight, but black has an idea. He wants to play d5, but just to try to upset the apple cart a little bit, what if white plays e5? d5 is met with en passant. Okay, I guess that could transpose, but just something to think about. And now he gets his d5 in. See, we get this pretty much the same pawn structure. And I think black's starting to get the better game here, even though he's a little lagging in development. Now he gets the thematic e5 in, and this will free this bad bishop. And white's here's some of these things we talk about exchanges, how to make exchanges. I talk about it in a lot of videos. Don't make exchanges that develop your opponent's pieces or improve their position or their scope. Let him make trades that develop yours. A perfectly good move here to play for white is to develop this rook. Okay, perfectly sound. The point being, we don't know what black's going to do, but if black takes, look, you've opened up a file. Your rook's now on it. You're threatening various discoveries. We don't know exactly which one we might want to do, if any of them. But, this bishop's maybe on a better diagonal, even though it's blended a little bit. The point is, the rook's going to an open file. White's development's better. So rook fe1 is just the kind of natural move you want to play. There's an old rhyme. Don't take, it's a mistake. Okay, not always. Every rule we tell you is made to be broken. Okay, remember that. That's another rule. Or sometimes, you have to choose between two rules and be able to evaluate which one's the correct one. It's not easy. Every situation is different. Okay, so white captures on e5, which doesn't get his rook to the e file. And now here, I think white's trying to undergo something premature. I just don't see the logic behind this move. I see what white's planning here in a minute, and it should have cost him the game. And here I think black doesn't play it right. What do? Develop a piece, okay? Bring the bishop out, okay? And I think black's got the better game. The bishops on the open board are better. Another possibility is to go pin this critter. Play bishop h6. That's, it's a possibility. So what does black do? Black just says, go back, knight. And, it comes back to what I talked about the other game, about keeping a piece on g5 and not making an exchange. You never know when your opponent might play h6. So here, black's saying, well, you don't have any good move but to put the knight back where it came from. But white immediately plays a bad move, which gives him a strategically lost game. I was shocked when I saw that. Okay, I've talked about in videos. You don't want to give up two minor pieces for the rook. You're going to lose, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, and now black makes a reasonable move, But let's look at a logical move, and let me explain why black wins this. Okay, the logical move to play is queen f6. Let's just get the queen off the open file, not have to get the king exposed, and at some point, white's going to have to play bishop takes, okay? Let's just do it now so I can illustrate my point. Okay, forget the kings. Let's count pieces. White has 1, 2, 3. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bishops kill a rook on an open board. Even though pawn count chess says the game's even, it's not. Black's objective is to trade queens and trade a set of rooks, and these bishops are going to dominate that rook. And eventually black will win a pawn, and if he wins it on the queen side, that means he's going to create a passed pawn. And those bishops are just going to help that pawn right up the board. And white will have to give up his rook to stop it. Okay? If black wins a pawn on the king side, well, it's only a matter of time before he wins another one. And it's going to happen. Okay? So this gives black a completely strategically winning game. But black complicated the matters. He tried to defend. Well, I'm going to, whoops, doesn't play the right move. I hate this I hate the way that they have this set up. I've explained it on videos. When you play a variation, it replaces the main line with a variation. Then you have to dig through the window here to find the right move. Sometimes I get so much analysis in there I have to just reset it and start over. But here, black turns what was a winning game into a losing game. Okay. What we have this. I've talked about this on a number of videos. We have a thinking deficiency where I call them I can't do that move, or can't do, or can't make that move. However you want to say it. We're conditioned that when our queen's attacked to get it out of the way, because we say, oh, I can't take his rook. That's giving up my queen for rook, and we slam the door shut. We don't look any further. And International Master Jeremy Silman has talked about it. He says, if you will analyze out moves you say you can't play, you'll often find you can play a number of them. And if you do that, you'll raise your rating about 150 points at a minimum. Okay, well, let's look at this for starters. For the moment, black is a piece ahead for the moment. So he has a chance to do something here. So let's, instead of trying to save the queen and losing this bishop, what if we play queen takes rook? Check. The rules say you got to get that check. And no matter how white takes back, and they'll probably take with the rook, nothing's guarding this bishop. Now let's do what we did already. Let's count pieces. White has 2. Suddenly black has 4. And black has 2 advantages here. And white still got that pawn, but it's not enough. Let's look at 2 ways to look at black's advantage. He has the advantage of 2 rooks against a queen, plus the advantage of 2 bishops against a rook. Both of those are considered advantages. Now the other way to look at it is let's rook for rook. Then black has a rook and 2 bishops for a queen. So both are decisive advantages. Black wins this. Okay? It's a routine win for black. End of story. So what black does is black blunders and saves his queen, but in the process he loses his bishop on e6, the piece he was ahead, and now the rook is pinned and black must lose the exchange. So in effect black has given away a rook. Okay? And he could have had an extra rook on the board. He doesn't. But he's lost a bishop and he lost the exchange. So now black's just down the exchange. And the game winds down. There's really not much to it. I think in this position, any one of you could beat Magnus Carlsen with black. I mean with white, not with black. He'll kill you if you had white. You can beat Magnus Carlsen with this position, although you couldn't play. You shouldn't play blitz against him. With he'll find a trick or two. And even in this position, after the rooks come off, Black resigned here, but uh, if you can't beat Magnus Carlsen find this move. If you can't beat Magnus Carlsen in this position, something's wrong with your game. I mean, my heavens, you could even take this. Well, let's go that way. Let's not jettison the bishop. Let's save it. I mean, you could even you should be able to beat Magnus Carlsen in this position. Although I imagine he would find a few ways to win this, as well as a few ways to draw it against some people if they played too quick. But it's just a point I want to make that it doesn't matter your opponent's strength. If you have the position, you could win it. They'll just make it a little trickier for you. Magnus will make this tricky, but even for a master, he'll make it tricky. But he's going down. Okay, so my goal is to help everybody improve. Tyllie, hope this helps you not go for these types of games next time. And KinghtsTour, if you see this, I hope you do. Just analyze a little bit and don't rush your moves. You'll be okay. And consider, you resign the other game in a winning game. Okay. All you had to do was look a little bit. And how do I stop mate? You saw the mate and thought you were mated, and I showed 2 ways to defend it. 3 ways. F3, F4, and Bishop F4. Anyway, thanks everyone for their time. Take care. Bye now.